What's up guys, my name is Phil, welcome back to Miranda Detailing. So in today's video, we have this awesome 2021 Challenger in for a paint enhancement and a spray coating. So here's the Challenger that we have in the shop today, and this is actually a regular customer of ours. We've done quite a few of his vehicles. I will put links down below as to the vehicles that we did that we actually filmed. I believe there was two of them. There was a purple Charger like this. A purple Challenger like this a couple of years ago. And then there was a black Mustang that we also coated. Now this one is in the shop, not for ceramic coatings yet. We most likely will do this this year, but for now he just wants it polished because it does have some weird imperfections going on. And we're just going to use a spray coating for today. But as you can see, it's dirty and it's got some light water spots. So hopefully these will be removed either in the wash process or in the polishing process. And it is pretty dusty and dirty. So it's raining out. We're going to pull this out and wash it quickly and then pull it back in and do the rest of the deconning if we need to. We'll use the clay mitt. Maybe even the clay bar if it's not completely pouring on us, and try to get all of that done as much as possible. Then we'll see where we're at with the water spots. So as far as protection, you've seen us use this before, the Wolfgang Uber ceramic spray coating. He was doing some research on this and this is what he wants. So this is what we'll apply. So guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. Okay guys, the Challenger is washed and it was quickly deconned with the mitt, and really it was so smooth we didn't have to do much. And look, we had to wear ponchos because it's just pouring out here. Now everything is at least cleaned and smooth, and we just applied some Sonax spray and seal on the wheels and the front grille part with all the like black gloss and plastic in the front. Really hard to get to, so we decided to just seal that in with something very simple and easy like this. Of course, we'll dry everything down, and if it needs a little bit of touch up, then we can touch it up with another sealant, but this makes things so much easier. So let's pull this in, let's pull all of this in and get this thing started to polish. That didn't make any sense. And let's get this thing in and start polishing. All right, so it's pulled in and we are using some brand new to us G-Technic towels. So this guy, super soft, and I know it looks like a bug sponge, but it's not. It's actually really nice soft fibers, and it's excellent for drying. So it absorbs really well. And we also have this big guy for drying. These are awesome towels. Nice, look at that. Now, oh yeah, it resolved the water spot issue. No problem. The water spots are gone. You can barely see. You see those little dots there? They are just barely hanging on, but that's going to come out with polishing. Because once the paint is dry completely, you really don't see too many of them. I see a few here and there, but yeah, that's not bad at all. It's mostly just some light swirls. Okay, great. Let's dry this beast and examine the paint a little bit more when everything is dry. All right, now everything is dry, and I just went throughout the vehicle, just hitting some areas with a panel wipe to clear out some stuff. There's still some, it's just a little bit of residue. That's not swirls or anything, that's just residue. So I was just using a little bit of the surface prep from Meguiar's, the M122, and obviously missed this spot, but it doesn't matter. I don't wipe down the entire vehicle. I'm just doing this to show the clarity of the paint and any imperfections that might show up. So as far as swirls go, I mean, there's barely anything. There's just light imperfections like that little spot right there. That's just like a little rub mark. It could be a denibbing mark. It could just be a mark that, who knows. Yeah, so well, that'll polish right out. And most of it looks like that. If we look at some of the bottom panels, side panels, bottom panels, we're going to see a little bit more. Oh, barely anything. Barely anything. I think that is just residue. There's a little scratch right there. Want to rub that mark with it? Right there. Yeah, that's just a scratch. That's a light scratch right there. That might come out though. And what you see there, I mean, that's still just towel marks, like wet residue that still needs to be buffed away and dried. Yeah, see? So not bad. There's a few little pock marks here and there that we noticed. One right there below the light, one right there above the light, and one right there. It looks like a sap dropping or maybe a small bird bomb or something that etched into the paint. So we'll be very careful and we'll gently remove those little marks, but that's about it. Now his cars are usually like this because he buys them brand new, he babies them, and I love that. That's amazing. That way you really keep this vehicle or your vehicles nice and clean. He just had the chrome rims put on, and you know, that's personal preference. Some guys don't like the chrome on this, but he does. So that's his personal preference. Some guys like the black rims or whatever, but you know what? According to the customer's likes, needs, and wants. There's all sorts of different vehicles that people dislike or like for whatever reason, but never knock what someone likes. That's a personal preference. Don't take away that choice. So here is my pad cleaning station. So every other panel or so, depending on what type of compound or polish I'm using, I want to blow out these pads and clean them. So here's a trick that I learned from Jim White at White Details. He'll take a bucket like this, he'll take just plain water, spray down the sides generously, and even all the way around the edges here. And then he will put the polisher in here, and you don't even need to turn it on. Use your air compressor and start on the side here and blow the air at a really, really sharp angle. And it'll spin that pad really fast, and then you can clean it out. Now it's ready for more compound or polish. And it keeps the dust down. It doesn't eliminate it 100%, but it keeps it down and keeps it in the bucket. And you will see it build up all around the sides. And the next time you go to clean out your pads, again, you just douse the sides with water and keep all of that dust going inside. There are some other ways you can do. You can get a cover and you can cut out an insert and put it in there and drill a hole in the side of the bucket, and you know, there's all sorts of different ways, but this is just an easy way to keep your pads clean. So there's not much to show as far as defect removal. I mean, the paint is already in such a good condition that I can't even do a proper 50-50 type of thing. So there's really not much to show at all. There's little tiny scratches here and there, but we're not attacking every single scratch. It's a paint enhancement. So we're glossing up the paint, we're prepping it, and if there are any minor little hazy spots or little swirls here and there, this is going to reduce it or virtually eliminate it. The little tiny hairline scratches that these lights bring out, you're not really going to see them in the sun anyway. So I'm not worried about them. Now, the polishing is going to go quick. We can do large panels at a time. We don't have to be so perfectly meticulous because, again, there's no defects to remove. So we can go much quicker, and that will really cut down on the time. We can be very, very efficient, which is awesome. So I love jobs like this. I love vehicles like this because it's a pleasure to work on. Now, does that mean that we're not giving the full value to the customer? No, of course not. If the vehicle comes in and it's already in really, really good shape and it's just little things that need to be taken care of, I still need to charge the appropriate price. If I were to get vehicles like this that were in such good condition and lightly polish them and coat them much cheaper than I normally would, that would actually hurt my business. So I don't do that. I don't just slash costs just because the vehicle is in better condition. That's not really a proper thing to do with business. It just isn't. So some may think, well, the car's not that bad. You're not spending the time that you would on a car that is bad doing a paint enhancement. I'm still going to charge the same. You're not paying for time. You're paying for expertise and knowledge. Would I attack this with any type of heavier pad or compound to get all the other swirls out? No, that's not what we're doing here. The paint is already in good condition. We're just sprucing it up a bit. We're just polishing it up and hitting a few other little areas of concern, and that's it. So when it comes to doing proper business and charging prices, and then especially if the customer is like, well, it's not that bad, can you take a couple $100s off, or can you do it cheaper? Look, you can do what you need to do in your business according to your customers or whatever, but that really wouldn't be prudent. It wouldn't be advantageous at all for your business. If you were to do that every time, you'd actually lose money, and you really wouldn't gain that much more in business. You really wouldn't. You get a lot of people who just want cheap, and they know that, oh, if they bring a vehicle to you that to them doesn't seem bad, then they're going to want a discount. No, you can't do that. I'm going to charge my base price for my paint enhancement, which starts at $500, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything cheaper just because the vehicle came in and it's in good condition. We win some, we lose some, but we do not diminish our prices just because a customer may think that their vehicle is in good condition. It's not good to do. So I have to explain that because some people are confused about prices. And why we wouldn't either give a discount, or why we wouldn't charge more or charge less, or maybe you charge less. That's all about demographic. So if you want to see a video about prices, check out the card on our second channel. That'll direct you to the second channel, the Detailing Workshop, where I talk about that stuff. I talk about prices, I talk about setting services, and I'm going to talk about the differences also later, if I don't already have it on that channel, the differences between paint correction, paint enhancement, and why to choose either or. So that's a lot of good information. So stay tuned to that other channel. Go over there and subscribe to the Detailing Workshop because I explain a lot of those things. And it may not work for everybody. I explain it the way that it works in my demographic, and it may work in your demographic. So take all of that in with a grain of salt and just, use that knowledge in your own area, wherever you are. Polishing is almost done. It is looking beautiful, so glossy. Look at that, gorgeous. Now, I noticed one thing up here, and I don't normally do this, but it's just sticking out and really annoying me. Right, so right there, the little dust nib. It's kind of hard to focus in on it. There you go, right there. See that? It's a little dust nib. Raised little bump. Now I want to eliminate that. That's really the only one that I saw here. So what I've done is cut with the KXK punch kit, 2500 grit sandpapers. So just these little guys. I really only need one, but I'll save one for next time. 2500 grit is perfect for taking out light scratches, even some deep scratches, and not having to finish down to 3000 all the time. You can probably even get away with 2000 and it's fine. But I like 2500, I think it's perfect. Oops, cut a little crescent out of there, but that's not a problem. And I have the little KXK stick right here, the little soft one. And all we need to do is wet sand that little dust nib down. Okay, that is done. No more dust nib. Let's see if we can find where it was. No? I can't really track it now. I don't know where it is. So that little 1-inch polisher wasn't enough to really cut it. So I had to get the microfiber cutting disc from Meguiar's, and we used a little bit of the Extreme Solutions Pure Cut, their step 1. So this is from their Pure Restoration System. It's just 2 steps. They're pure cut, and we've been using the pure polish. Really, really nice stuff. This wipes off extremely easy, very nice to work with. Even the compound, really nice to work with. And I'm using this more and more, the Vonix Gliz. This is the polishing or compounding pad conditioner. It just adds a little bit of oils, and it really cuts down on the dust. It makes the wipe off so much easier. Really, really like that stuff. It makes the job really enjoyable, really. It makes it easy. So that little dust nib is gone, it's compounded, it's polished out, and paint is now complete. So lunchtime, we'll see you after lunch. So I've learned that polishing glass this way really does make a difference with coatings. I noticed that the glass is cleaner. It removes some of the water spotting. Some of those smudges are on the inside, but it'll remove those water spots. Defects, not really. It's not really meant to remove defects? It's not meant to remove defects necessarily. I know some guys can, but I'm not going to risk that. A little bit of smudging right there. but it really does clean the glass exceptionally well and prepares it for a coating. So when you polish it with that Ceraglass and that little rayon pad, it really deep cleans the pores of the glass, and it makes the glass almost grabby. So I use a damp towel to remove that polish, the glass polish, because it's really a pain to remove without using a damp towel, and then a dry towel to just kind of buff away the residue, and that towel will grab onto the glass. I can tell that it's that it is completely free of any oils or anything that's on there. So that really preps it for the coating. So I'm going to use G-Technic G5. I love this stuff, and I was learning a little bit about its application from the G-Technic guys. You apply this so thin that it's just barely a little bit of smeariness that you see in the glass. That's all. Very, very, very thin. So I'll go in circular motions and then kind of cross hatch a little bit. Make sure I get every square inch. That's really the most important part. All right, and that's it. This really goes a long ways. So it's just enough to see a little bit of residue. You can see the residue there. That's it. Let that sit on there for as long as you can. I was talking to the G-Technic guys and they said about an hour, and it should wipe off easily. So we'll see. I also do have some G-Technic Perfect Glass. They said if there is a little bit of resistance, just use the Perfect Glass from G-Technic and you should be good to go. So on to protection. Now I just took this little cap off and I have a new spray tip on here. I've been searching Amazon and eBay for these style pump sprayers because I found that they are the best. And I think I found a good source. I buy them in like a big 50 pack like this, tons of them. And now I can either chuck it, or what I like to do is just rinse this pump out and then just let it dry completely, because if you leave it in there with the stuff, it'll just clog it up. So I'll use it for all of these different, what are these, 8-ounce bottles? Perfect fit, these pump sprayers. And you can use that on many other small little 8-ounce bottles. So it makes it really nice and easy. You can spray it onto my applicator. I have a nice microfiber white applicator here. So let's use that. All right, let's just put a few pumps onto the applicator. And apply. And I'm going to do a larger than normal section because I know this stuff is very easy to apply. It's basically wipe on, wipe off. That's it. All right, go ahead and wipe it off. All right, let's see how this removes. Okay, this is interesting. The longer this sits, the easier it is to wipe off. I've actually never experienced such an easy wipe off with this stuff before. Thank you, Eric from G-Technic and Chris from G-Technic for those tips. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, that is nice. I love the slick feeling that the G-Technic G5 leaves on the glass. Wow, that's awesome. Where it's thick here, there's a few spots that are thicker. A little difficult to wipe off, but it's actually all coming off. So that's pretty cool. The Challenger is done. Well, almost. I just have one little thing to do. The back glass, because somebody has shorty arms and couldn't reach the glass back here. I did the windshield, of course, and my wife did all the rest of the glass, except for back here. So I'll hit that in just a moment. But let's take a look at everything. It's looking beautiful, exceptionally glossy. Wheels and tires. The tires are dressed with CarPro Pearl, and wheels are protected with the same Wolfgang coating as the paint. Really, really nice looking. Now all of the matte plastic here, like the satin finish plastic, was also coated with the same Wolfgang coating, so that looks great. Actually gives it a nice darker sheen, and it'll protect it. And windshield is coated with G-Technic G5, so we polished it with Ceraglass and a rayon pad, and then we protected it with G-Technic G5. Awesome. Man, this thing is looking gorgeous. Well guys, the Challenger is done. It's going to sit overnight because the customer doesn't want to be driving it in the rain. It's still going to be raining later on today, so this will just sit in here. Everything will cure for tomorrow, and it'll be good to go. We might see this thing in another 6 months or so, so stay tuned to the channel. We'll see if the protection lasts on it by then. Who knows? He maintains it himself, so we will see what happens, but so far it is looking incredible. So if you're interested in any of the products or the tools that we use, I'll have things listed down below. If you don't see anything down there, just let me know in the messages, and I'll try to lead you in the right direction, whether on Amazon, Car Supplies Warehouse, anywhere that I have products for you to try out and use for yourself. And again, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. So again, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time. Take care.